American poets turned ordinary words into something unforgettable, shaping how we feel, dream, and see the world. Their voices still echo through every page they ever wrote. Today, we introduce 10 of America's most celebrated poets, whose outstanding works have left an indelible mark on the nation's literary heritage. Walt Whitman. Let's begin with a poet who loved the sound of the world around him. Walt Whitman. He was born in 1819 and is often called the father of free verse. That means he did not always follow rhymes or fixed patterns in his poems. Whitman wanted his words to move like waves, free and full of life. His most famous book, Leaves of Grass, celebrates people, nature, and the human spirit. He wrote about everyday workers, mothers, soldiers, and dreamers, giving them all a voice. One of his well-known poems, "O Captain, My Captain," was written to honor President Abraham Lincoln after his death. Whitman's poems were full of hope, love, and pride in being human. His style changed how poetry was written, making it more open and real. He believed every person mattered and deserved to be heard, and that belief still inspires poets today. 1855. I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. Excerpt from Song of Myself by Walt Whitman. Emily Dickinson. After Whitman's wide-open world of people and places, we move to the quiet and thoughtful world of Emily Dickinson. She lived in the 1800s in a small town in Massachusetts and wrote almost 1,800 poems, though only a few were published while she was alive. Dickinson loved to stay at home and write in secret. Her poems were short but deep, filled with questions about life, death, and what happens after. In her poems, she often used dashes and capital letters in new ways, which made her voice very unique. Though she wrote about small things, a bee, a flower, a bird, her thoughts were as big as the sky. Emily Dickinson taught the world that poetry could be quiet and powerful at the same time. Her words still help people understand feelings that are hard to say out loud. 1891. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Excerpt from Hope by Emily Dickinson. Robert Frost. Now, stepping from Emily's gentle world of thought, we walk into the calm woods and snowy fields of Robert Frost. Born in 1874, Frost became one of the most loved American poets because his poems were easy to read but full of meaning. He often wrote about farms, trees, and country life, yet his poems were about the choices people make in life. His most famous poem, The Road Not Taken, talks about standing at a path that splits in two and choosing which way to go, a picture of life itself. Frost used simple words and nature to show deep truths about human feelings. He won the Pulitzer Prize 4 times, more than most poets ever have. His poems remind us that nature and life are connected, and every choice we make helps build who we are. 1916. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Excerpt from The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Langston Hughes. From Frost's quiet woods, we now move to the lively rhythm of the city where Langston Hughes made his mark. Born in 1902, Hughes became the heart of the Harlem Renaissance, a movement that celebrated African American art, music, and culture in the 1920s and 1930s. He wrote poems, plays, and stories that spoke about the dreams and struggles of Black Americans. One of his most famous poems, I Too, tells the story of a man who believes he will one day be seen and treated equally. Hughes wrote with music in his words, mixing the rhythms of jazz and blues into his poetry. He wanted his writing to sound like the real voice of his people. His work gave hope, pride, and strength to many who felt unheard. Langston Hughes showed that poetry could sing, dance, and fight for fairness all at once. 1923. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Excerpt from Hold Fast to Dreams by Langston Hughes. Sylvia Plath. Next up, we now enter the powerful and emotional world of Sylvia Plath. Born in 1932, she became known for her honest and brave poems about the mind, feelings, and pain. Plath's famous book, Ariel, was published after her death, and it revealed her deep thoughts about life and identity. Her most well-known poems showed her struggle with family memories and her own search for freedom. She also wrote a novel called The Bell Jar, which told the story of a young woman trying to find herself. Plath's poetry was personal and full of emotion, and she wrote with raw honesty that few poets had shown before. Her words helped people understand sadness and strength in a new way. Today, she is remembered as one of the most powerful female voices in literature, a poet who turned her pain into art that still speaks to hearts everywhere. 1961. The moon is no door. It is a face in its own right, white as a knuckle and terribly upset. It drags the sea after it like a dark crime. It is quiet with the O-gape of complete despair. I live here. Twice on Sunday, the bells startle the sky, 8 great tongues affirming the resurrection. At the end, they soberly bong out their names. Excerpt from The Moon and the Yew Tree by Sylvia Plath. Maya Angelou. Now let's talk about a voice that rose from struggle and turned pain into strength, Maya Angelou. Born in 1928, she became one of the most loved American poets and storytellers. Her childhood was not easy, but she found comfort in reading and writing. Maya used her words to speak about freedom, courage, and hope. One of her most famous works is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, a story that tells how she overcame fear and found her voice. Her poem Still I Rise is known all around the world for its message of power and pride. Maya's writing was full of rhythm, love, and truth. She taught people that words could heal, inspire, and bring people together. Her poems continue to help others believe in themselves and stand tall through every storm. 1969. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. T.S. Eliot. Moving from Maya's strong and emotional poetry, we now step into the thoughtful and mysterious world of T.S. Eliot. Born in 1888, Eliot became one of the greatest poets of the 20th century. His writing was deep, full of questions about time, faith, and modern life. One of his most famous poems, The Waste Land, painted a picture of a broken world after war, but also looked for meaning and hope. Another love piece, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, shows a man who is unsure of himself, afraid to speak, and always thinking. Eliot's poems were different from what most people were used to reading. They were filled with images, whispers, and thoughts that made readers pause and reflect. He also won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1948. His work changed how poetry sounded and showed that poems could explore the deepest corners of the human mind. 1922. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering earth in forgetful snow, feeding a little life with dried tubers. Excerpt from The Waste Land, T.S. Eliot. Wallace Stevens. After Eliot's world of deep reflection, we move to the imaginative and colorful mind of Wallace Stevens. Born in 1879, he lived most of his life working as an insurance lawyer, but his heart belonged to poetry. Stevens wrote poems that made readers look at the world in new ways. He believed that imagination could shape reality and that poetry was a way to see beauty even in ordinary things. One of his best-known poems, The Idea of Order at Key West, tells of a woman singing by the sea and how her song changes the world around her. Another poem, Sunday Morning, talks about finding joy and meaning in life without waiting for heaven. Stevens used rich words and bright images that made his poems sound like paintings in motion. He taught readers to see that beauty is not just what we look at, but what we feel and imagine. 1923. Call the roller of big cigars, the muscular one, and bid him whip in kitchen cups concupiscent curds. Let the wenches dawdle in such dress as they are used to wear, and let the boys bring flowers in last month's newspapers. Let B be finale of seam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Excerpt from The Emperor of Ice Cream by Wallace Stevens. Allen Ginsberg. Now moving on to the loud, passionate, and fearless energy of Allen Ginsberg. Born in 1926, Ginsberg became one of the main voices of the Beat generation, a group of writers who wanted to break free from old rules and speak the truth of their times. His most famous poem, Howl, shocked the world when it was published in 1956 because it spoke openly about freedom, pain, and love in a way no one had done before. Ginsberg used long musical lines that sounded like jazz, full of rhythm and emotion. He believed poetry should be honest and come straight from the heart, even if it made people uncomfortable. His work inspired young people to think differently and to question what was right and wrong. Ginsberg's words became a voice for peace, love, and personal truth during a time of great change in America. 1956. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness. Starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn, looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of night. Excerpt from Howl by Allen Ginsberg. Elizabeth Bishop. Finally, Elizabeth Bishop was born in 1911. Bishop was known for her careful, detailed poems that looked closely at the world. She wrote about travel, nature, and memory with gentle observation. Her poem, The Fish, describes catching and then releasing a fish, finding beauty and wisdom in the small details of life. Another well-known poem, One Art, speaks about loss and how people try to accept it with strength. Bishop's writing was calm and full of honesty. She never rushed her words. Instead, she shaped them with care, like an artist painting with delicate strokes. Though she was shy and private, her poetry opened a quiet window into her heart and mind. Bishop showed that even the softest voices could leave a lasting echo in the world of poetry. 1976. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost that their loss is no disaster. Lose something every day. Accept the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster. Places and names and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. Excerpt from One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. If you enjoyed discovering these powerful voices, hit like, share this with a friend who loves poetry, and subscribe for more stories that keep the art of words alive.